Well, hi, and I hope you are having an amazing day. If you're in the United States, happy Thanksgiving. I went to an early yoga this morning and came back, showered, and I'm heading out soon for a walk with my family. And, wherever you are in the world, I just hope you're having an incredible day. And I was just taking a moment now in meditation, contemplation. I want to drop by and give you all a gift. And it really occurred to me that one of the most profound things that I could share today for you is actually right out of my book, The Have-It-All Woman. And it comes from the chapter on relationships, which is chapter 6. So it's really and truly an amazing process. And I would just say to you as we go into this, take notes, share this. I know that some of you have a lot of life going on. Maybe you're going through an illness. Maybe your relationship is not great. Maybe you've got some life changes happening or job changes or business frustrations. And one of the things that I've found is when life is happening and it can feel like things are spiraling. It's so important to step back and take that time to get perspective and be grateful. And it's wonderful to see all of you here. I see Rial and Jess, Laura, and hey, Mama Yvonne. It's great to see you. So I want to take you through this process. So the first thing is to identify a person or situation that caused you pain. And I know many of you have done a ton of work. I know for myself, I've taught events where we've broken hunting arrows on women's throats to help them release their voice. I've been at Tony Robbins events and walked on fire. I've done training events where I'm training and Tony's training and, Pitbull's training and whoever's training. But, as much work as we do, often our lives are like layers, and sometimes things that we've kind of brushed over and we're thought, well, that didn't really bother me, but something's not right in our life. And we're hyper aware. And I know some of you know exactly what I'm talking about. We just feel stuck. Something's stuck. Our finances are stuck. Our health is stuck. There's some form of a blockage. And that often shows up physically, and it could show up as a muscle knot. It could even show up in some other form of dis-ease, as Louise Hay used to say. So, getting these emotional blockages out often helps us, just become more clear, more energetic, more focused. And if you do believe in the law of attraction, many of the guys and gals who were in The Secret actually know them. This book was endorsed by Jack Canfield and John Gray, who were both in The Secret. If you believe in the law of attraction, I'm a Christian, and I definitely believe in the law of attraction. It's written about in the Bible many times. But regardless of what you believe, there is definitely a cause and effect. And if you're walking around with any baggage and any pain, any lack of forgiveness, I can promise you you're stuck some way, right? And the work is the work is the work. The work doesn't ever end. There's always new experiences and things to clear. So anyway, step number 1, identifying a situation or person that caused you pain. Pick a person, pick a situation. And then step number 2, what are or were the characteristics of the person or situation. So I recommend that you, in a column, put the person's name or the situation, and then what are the characteristics of that person or situation. They were abusive. They condemned me. They marginalized me. They made me feel small. I was hurt. They verbally accosted me. Whatever it is that person or situation evokes for you. The third step is to look at these characteristics and take a moment and ask yourself, does any other person in your life have these same characteristics? Because often patterns will repeat themselves, right? So, it's amazing because when I've done this exercise, I created this exercise. I've done it so many times myself. But, one of the things I realized in self-actualization was that in business, I kept attracting the same persona. And it was fascinating to me because I was like, oh my gosh, all of the people that I was having any degree of conflict with, when I really looked at this person who had caused me pain, I realized that I was attracting similar personas into my life. And it triggered me so much. This was, well over, I think around 13, 14 years ago. And I had to step back and go, wait a minute. I know what this is about. And if I can really have some healing with this original person, and I can go beyond forgiveness and into gratitude for the abuse, that, and I'll get into that in a moment, that's going to shift everything. And as I went through this process, and I created that deep healing, it was amazing because those relationships began to heal, and people either went out of my life or they began to treat me differently, because how people treat us, they're mirroring back to us any disresonance, I'm just making that word up, that we have within ourselves. So if someone's being aggressive or abusive to you, or critical, chances are that's something within you that you still haven't healed, that rift in your soul, if that makes sense. And so if other people had these characteristics, who are they? List every single person. And then ask yourself, number 5, how am I a better person for this experience? How am I a better person? I realized that for me, because of this original experience, I was a better mom. I make sure my kids are safe. I make sure we have family time. I am a really strong woman. I'm a survivor. I'm tough. I am able to accomplish a lot of things because of this original experience. And I know I wouldn't be the woman I am today if that abuse hadn't happened. I really know that. And I'm also very empathetic. I mean, oh gosh, on an average year, I'm in front of, including lives and everything else, at least 100,000 people. And I meet so many women and men who have similar backstories, and they'll say, you know what, you're so strong, but I love that you can relate. And just because I'm empathetic doesn't mean I'm sympathetic. That's a whole other different come from. Empathy means I get you, I get your pain, I understand. Sympathy is when I want to get right in there with you and be enabled, and I don't. I'm not that person. I want us to heal, be grateful, move on. The more we live with our suffering, the smaller we play in our lives, right? And then the next step, 6, is what's great about this. And you might be going, oh, Susan, I was abused. I had cancer. My husband cheated on me. My wife cheated on me. What do you mean? What's great about this? What's great about this is who you become because of it. What's great about this is the opportunities that arise. Maybe that relationship was so toxic, and if you hadn't caught that person in the affair, as an example, you wouldn't be free. You'd still be in that relationship. So many different things that allow us to be liberated. It isn't always rosy, right? Sometimes, how many of you have ever been liberated from a situation and it was painful to be in that situation? It was awful, but the reality was that even though you either went bankrupt, you got sick, you got divorced, or whatever, you were better off afterwards, right? And it happens all the time. And number 7, what are the lessons I learned about myself in this process? So taking some time to journal, what have I learned? And maybe it's this video right now where you're like, oh my gosh, I'm realizing that I did learn things, but I haven't allowed myself to feel what I've learned, and I've kind of been stuffing things down. And when I used to do the Have It All Women's event, a lot of women are like, do it again. I might, we'll see. It was 4 days of me teaching 16 hours a day. It was awesome. But with, what I always said is whatever is suppressed is going to be expressed in some way. So if you are suppressing your emotions, you're suppressing your anger, your feelings, you're probably stuffing them with food or alcohol or doing drugs or doing something, right? And whatever's suppressed is going to be expressed, and you can't keep stuffing your emotions down. At some point, you're going to get sick. It's going to be toxic for you. And then number 8 is, am I willing to let go? So many people live with an identity that is toxic, and it's defined by, I'm divorced, I was sexually abused, I am this, I am that. You don't have to own that identity. It's not who you are. It's something you experience. That's two different things. And when I wrote this book, I talked about Nathaniel Hawthorne, the Scarlet Letter. And when I lost everything, so I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, progressive, in January of 2000. And the doctor was like, I've never seen a case this bad. You're going to be in a wheelchair in 10 years. You're going to be dead in 20. In my mind, I was like, SCREWU, right? That's what I was thinking. No, not me. And 3 days later, my marriage fell apart. I'm not going to get into those details. 16 weeks later, I lost my health club. I ended up homeless, living on my brother-in-law Ian's sofa. And the reality was, I could have been very angry. I could have worn those scarlet letters: divorce, sick, all the, bankrupt, the list goes on and on. But I remember that summer looking in the mirror and saying, I'm not going to wear those scarlet letters. Yes, I'm divorced. Yes, I have MS. Yes, I'm a single mom. Yes, I went bankrupt. But that doesn't define me. And I always say to my clients, things can either define you or refine you. And when is now the right time to allow these experiences, this past pain, to refine you and not define you? That's the question I have. When is now the right time for that? Now is the perfect time. Those are your experiences. They shape who you are, but they don't have to define you. That's the difference between a victim and a victor. Right? A victim allows the experiences to define them, and a victor allows the pain to refine them. And that's what you want to be. And then number 9 is, what can I be grateful for with this experience? What can I be grateful for? Forgive the person. Go to the next level is gratitude. When he was alive, Dr. David Hawkins, he was amazing. He was the founding father of muscle testing. Many of you are familiar with that. I learned muscle testing from Dr. David Hawkins himself, and I feel so blessed that my personal mentors, people like Dr. Hawkins, Dr. Wayne Dyer. I still have my old BlackBerry because it has a voice message on it from Wayne, and I won't get rid of it. I know, and I'm not a clutter person. I need to record it somehow. Jim Rohn, all these amazing people that I've had the privilege to connect with and work with. And I know that had I not had that pain and made a decision to spend the rest of my life working on myself, that I wouldn't have met those people. I mean, there's so many different things that you can be grateful for. And then this 10th step is to write a gratitude letter to this person or this situation, letting them know that you're fully healed. I don't know if you believe this, but I'll close with this. There's this saying that goes, everything happens for a reason, right? And that's all well and good until you're going through some heavy duty intensity, cancer, MS, divorce, infidelity, bankruptcy, and you're like, I don't want to hear it. Everything happens for a reason. Everything, if you really believe it, and those words have come out of your mouth, everything happens for a reason, then I want to present this thought to you. What if all of the people who've caused you pain were hand placed in your life to allow you to truly step into your power? What if every toxic situation was put there to make you stronger? Much like going to the gym, the only way I can build muscle is to tear down muscle. The only way to build yourself up sometimes is to be torn down. And life is much too short to go through with resentment or anger or fear. And people say, what about the people who put nasty things on your social media? And I'm like, I love them anyway. It doesn't matter. That's their stuff. I don't have to own it. It's just, it doesn't matter. It will only affect me if I allow it to affect me. And it's the same thing with all of you. You are human. And by virtue of that, you have the ability to experience a range of emotions, and you have the ability to choose what a situation or a person means to you. It's a choice. And the moment you choose to be grateful for whatever that pain is that was caused, that person who caused you the pain, they lose all their power. So with that, I want to, if you're in the United States, happy Thanksgiving. If this has been helpful, I would love for you to share it, comment on it. I am having a sale on susansly.com. You can check it out. My class OYL for entrepreneurs is on sale for $200 off. It's crazy. And my event Sales Nirvana, which I am going to be teaching neuro-linguistic programming. So imagine being able to get out of your head and speak your truth and to present with greater power and certainty. This is one day. It's my last event of the year, December 7th in Las Vegas, and tickets for 36 hours are only $47. And if you do want to become a better presenter, you want to have more confidence, you want to engage with people, you want to, generate more sales, more revenue in 2019, I would invite you to be there one day out of your life to potentially make the rest of your life a lot more productive, have a lot more ease, create a lot more confidence for yourself. And it is going to be an intimate event, and you will get to work with me personally that day. It's not a 1,000-person event. And so I would invite you to go and get your tickets at salesnirvana.com or susansly.com. But anyway, God bless. And again, take this time, be grateful, you deserve it, and stop holding on to anything, because what I want for you is that the rest of this year is the best of this year, and the rest of your life is the best of your life. God bless.